Okay, so let's talk about butterflies. I know you're probably thinking they're just pretty bugs with cool wings. And yeah, you're not wrong. They are super pretty. I was at the park the other day, just sitting on a bench, minding my own business, trying to figure out if I wanted an iced coffee or an iced tea. A genuinely life-altering decision, by the way. And this little monarch just fluttered by my face. It was so delicate and perfect. And for a second, I totally forgot about my caffeine crisis. It was just this peaceful, magical little moment. But then my brain, in its classic overthinking fashion, started going, wait, what's the with butterflies? Why are we all so obsessed with them? They're on everything. Notebooks, t-shirts, tattoos, my grandma's favorite mug. It feels like they're this universal symbol for, I don't know, a good vibe? A glow-up? It's like we all just collectively agreed that butterflies are the main character of the insect world, and I just never really questioned it. So I did what any normal person with an internet connection and a sudden intense curiosity would do. I went down a rabbit hole. And let me tell you, it's so much deeper and weirder and more amazing than I ever could have imagined. These aren't just pretty bugs, they are literally legends. Their souls, their gods, their wishes on wings. And today, we're going to dive into 7 of these stories that are so wild, they're going to completely change how you see that little bug fluttering past your face. Get ready, because it's about to get weird. So first up, we're heading to ancient China for this story that's basically the original, forbidden love trope. It's called The Butterfly Lovers, and honestly, it puts every dramatic movie I've ever seen to shame. It's intense. So, picture this. There's this girl, Zhu Yingtai. She's super smart, super driven, and she wants to go to school, which back then was a total boys' club. Literally, girls weren't allowed. But is she gonna let that stop her? Absolutely not. She's a boss. So, she convinces her dad to let her go to school disguised as a boy. I mean, the dedication is already iconic. And on her way there, she meets this guy, Liang Shanbo. He's also a student, and they just immediately click. You know that feeling when you meet someone and you're just on the same wavelength? It was that. They become instant best friends, study buddies, roommates, the whole 9 yards. They are inseparable for 3 whole years. And the whole time Liang has no idea that his best friend, his bro, is actually the love of his life. Zhu is obviously head over heels in love with him, but she's stuck in this whole pretending to be a dude situation, which is, a bit of a complication. It's like a high-stakes, historical version of a rom-com misunderstanding, but way more stressful. She's dropping hints, I'm sure, but Liang is just blissfully unaware, probably talking about other girls to her. The angst is real. Finally, school's over, and Zhu has to go home. This is where the drama really kicks in. She tries to tell Liang the truth, but she kind of does it in this super roundabout symbolic way. She's like, hey, I have a sister at home who looks just like me, you should totally come and marry her. And Liang, bless his heart, is just like, oh, cool, a sister, great idea. He's not getting it. He's just not picking up what she's putting down. So Zhu goes home and her dad immediately drops a bomb on her. She's engaged. To some rich guy she's never met. It's a classic arranged marriage nightmare. She's devastated, obviously. Meanwhile, Liang finally puts 2 and 2 together, realizes Zhu is the woman he's been in love with this whole time, and he rushes to her family's home to propose. He's ready to declare his love. He's probably practiced a whole speech in his head. But he's too late. He gets there and finds out she's promised to someone else. The shock and the heartbreak are just too much for him. He gets physically sick from it, his heart literally breaks, and he dies. I told you this was dramatic. It's not just a sad breakup, it's fatal, and Zhu is just completely shattered. This is the worst case scenario. The love of her life is gone. On her wedding day, as her procession is passing by Liang's grave, a freak storm kicks up out of nowhere. The wind is howling, it's thundering, it's very theatrical. Zhu, in her wedding dress, runs to Liang's tombstone, crying and begging for it to open up. She's just completely lost in her grief, not caring about her family or her fiancé or anything else. She just wants to be with him. And then, in this crazy supernatural moment, the grave actually splits open. A bolt of lightning strikes, and the tomb just opens up for her. Without a second thought, she jumps inside to be with Liang forever. It's this incredibly tragic but also kind of beautiful moment of ultimate devotion. She chose him. Even in death, it's just, wow. And just as the tomb closes, the storm stops, the sun comes out, and from the grave, 2 butterflies emerge. Not just any butterflies, but these beautiful, vibrant butterflies that fly up into the sky together. They circle each other, they dance in the air, and they fly away, finally free and united. They couldn't be together in life because of society and rules, but as butterflies, their souls were bound together for eternity. It's like their love literally transformed them into something beautiful and free. Okay, let's take a deep breath after that one, because it was a lot. We're shifting gears now to something a little less tragic and a lot more hopeful, I guess. We're talking about some Native American legends, specifically from tribes like the Blackfeet and the Navajo, and their whole vibe with butterflies is so pure and beautiful, it honestly makes me want to go find one and tell it all my secrets. It's this idea that butterflies are basically messengers to the heavens. So the legend goes that if you have a wish, a really deep, secret wish that you don't want to say out loud to anyone else, you can tell it to a butterfly. The idea is that butterflies, because they're silent and can't speak, are the perfect keepers of secrets. They won't go gossiping to the other butterflies. Your secret is totally safe with them. It's like a little fuzzy winged vault for your dreams. The ritual itself is so gentle and respectful. You have to capture a butterfly, but you have to do it without harming it at all. You have to be super, super careful. You hold it gently in your hands, and then you whisper your wish into its wings. It's this very intimate, quiet moment between you and this little creature. You're entrusting it with something precious, a piece of your heart, really. And once you've told it your wish, you let it go, you release it, and as it flies away, it carries your wish up to the Great Spirit, or whatever higher power you believe in. Because butterflies are seen as these special creatures that can travel between the earthly world and the spirit world, they are the perfect couriers. They take your quiet hopes and deliver them directly to the source. It's such a beautiful concept. There's this profound sense of trust in nature in this story. Trusting that this tiny, fragile insect has the power to carry something as significant as your deepest desire. It's not about forcing anything. It's about a gentle partnership. You give the butterfly your wish, and in return for its freedom, it performs this sacred task for you. It's a transaction based on respect and kindness. It also kind of reframes the whole idea of wishing. It's not just about wanting something. It's about the act of letting go. You whisper your hope, and then you release it physically into the world. You have to trust that it's on its way, that it's been heard. You're not holding on to it tightly anymore. You're setting it free, just like the butterfly. And there's something really powerful about that. I just love how this legend emphasizes the sacredness of even the smallest creatures. It teaches a lesson about being gentle, about being respectful to the natural world. Every little life has a purpose and a kind of magic to it. It's not just an insect. It's a potential miracle worker, a direct line to the divine. It makes you look at them in a whole new light. Imagine being a kid and hearing this story. You'd spend your entire summer chasing butterflies, not just because it's fun, but because each one holds the possibility of making your dreams come true. It adds this layer of magic and wonder to the everyday world. It makes you feel connected to something bigger, something spiritual, just by interacting with this tiny bug. So the next time a butterfly flutters by, maybe don't just think about how pretty it is. Think about it as a little floating vessel of hope, a silent carrier of wishes flying up to the sky. It's such a comforting and beautiful thought, that your quietest dreams can be given wings and sent on their way. It's just really, really nice. Okay, so we've had tragic love, and we've had gentle hope. Now we're going to get into something a little more bittersweet? I think that's the word. This one comes from the Pueblo peoples of the American Southwest, and it's a story that explains why butterflies are so beautiful, but also totally silent. And honestly, it's kind of a sad but beautiful fable. It's got that vibe. So, the story starts way back in the beginning of time. The creator was, creating everything. The mountains, the rivers, the animals. And he made the birds, and he gave them these amazing colorful feathers and beautiful songs. Then he made the butterflies, and he also gave them these incredible vibrant wings. But he also gave them voices, and they could sing just as beautifully as the birds. So you have this world filled with these flying creatures, all of them just dazzling with color and filling the air with music. It sounds pretty idyllic, right? A total paradise of sight and sound. The butterflies would flutter around singing their little hearts out, and everything was just lovely. They were like these little flying jewels that also happened to be incredible vocalists. But then, this girl comes into the story. She was born deaf, so she couldn't hear any of the beautiful sounds of the world. She couldn't hear the birds singing, she couldn't hear the wind in the trees, and she couldn't hear the songs of the butterflies. She could see all the beauty though. She would watch the butterflies for hours, mesmerized by their colors and the way they danced in the air. She loved them so much, but it made her sad that she couldn't share in the full experience. She knew they were making music, she could see the other people enjoying it, but it was a world that was closed off to her. She felt this deep connection to their beauty, but also this deep sense of loss because she couldn't hear their songs. It's that feeling of being on the outside of something wonderful, which is just heartbreaking. The butterflies noticed her. They saw this girl who appreciated their colors more than anyone else, who would sit and watch them with such love in her eyes, and they saw her sadness. They felt her loneliness, and being the sweet creatures they are, they felt super bad for her. They wanted to do something to make her happy, to connect with her in a way she could understand. So, the butterflies all got together and made a big decision, a huge sacrifice. They decided to go to the Creator and ask for a favor. They flew to him and said, "Look, we love our songs, but there's this girl who loves our colors so much and it breaks our hearts that she can't hear us. We want to give our songs to her. It's such a selfless, compassionate idea." The Creator was touched by their kindness. He agreed to their request. He gathered up all the songs from the butterflies, all their melodies, all their notes, all their harmonies, and he gave them to the girl. Suddenly she could hear. And the first thing she heard wasn't just any sound. It was the concentrated beauty of every butterfly song in the world. Imagine how overwhelming and beautiful that must have been. But in exchange, the butterflies became silent. Forever. They gave up their voices so that this one person could experience the joy of sound. They traded their music for a different kind of beauty, the beauty of a compassionate act. And from that day on, they fluttered through the world without making a sound, their beauty becoming their only language. So now, when we see a butterfly, so vibrant and colorful but so completely quiet, this legend tells us it's because they made a sacrifice. Their silence is a reminder of their kindness. Their beauty is a gift, but it came at a cost. It adds this layer of depth and a little bit of sadness to their existence. They are beautiful because they were good. And that's a pretty powerful thought. Alright, let's pack our bags and our ghost hunting equipment, I guess, because we're heading to Ireland. And the Irish folklore surrounding butterflies is, well, it's a little spooky. It's haunting and deep and carries this weight of tradition and respect. It's not scary in a horror movie way, but in a way that makes the hair on your arms stand up a little bit. You know what I mean? So, in old Irish tradition, butterflies are not just insects. They are literally the souls of the dead. Specifically, the souls of people who are waiting to pass into the afterlife, or purgatory. They're in this in-between state, and they take the form of a butterfly. So when you see a butterfly, you might not just be looking at a bug. You could be looking at the spirit of someone's ancestor. This belief was so strong that it became a law, like an actual law, that you could not, under any circumstances, kill a white butterfly. It was considered incredibly bad luck, and more than that, it was seen as a deeply disrespectful act. You would essentially be harming a human soul. Can you imagine the pressure? A butterfly lands on you, and you have to be perfectly still, thinking, "Please don't be my great-great-aunt Mary." The color of the butterfly was super important too. A white butterfly was most commonly seen as the soul of a lost child. So, seeing one was this really poignant, bittersweet moment. It was a sign of innocence and purity, but also a reminder of a life lost too soon. People would see a white butterfly near a grave and believe it was the child's soul, lingering near its resting place. It's incredibly sad, but also kind of beautiful. This idea of butterflies as souls is why they are often symbols of resurrection and transformation in Celtic and Christian Irish traditions. They represent the soul leaving the body and moving on to the next life. The caterpillar is the life on earth, the chrysalis is the tomb, and the butterfly is the soul resurrected, free from its earthly form. It's a powerful metaphor that really stuck. There are all these little folk beliefs tied to it too. Like if a butterfly flies into your house, it's a soul visiting you. You're supposed to treat it with kindness and respect until it leaves on its own. If a butterfly lands on the hand of a dying person, it's seen as a sign that they will have a peaceful passing and be accepted into heaven. It's a symbol of comfort in a time of grief. This belief also gives butterflies this kind of sacred, untouchable quality. They're not just part of nature, they're part of the human spiritual journey. They bridge the gap between the world of the living and the world of the dead. They are a visible sign of an invisible reality, which is a really profound concept to wrap your head around. It makes them feel ancient and mysterious. I think what's so fascinating about this is how it changes your whole interaction with them. It's not just, oh, pretty. It's, oh, who are you? There's a reverence there, a quiet respect. You're not just in the presence of an insect, you're in the presence of a soul, a story, a life that was lived. It makes the world feel a lot more enchanted, and honestly, a little more crowded. So the next time a little white butterfly flutters around you in a garden, maybe take a second. Think about this Irish legend. It's not about being scared of ghosts. It's about recognizing the deep, ancient connection we have to the cycles of life and death, and seeing that connection embodied in one of the most delicate creatures on Earth. It's a heavy thought for a little bug, but also kind of beautiful. Okay, so this next one is a journey. It's a whole soap opera. We're talking vanity, we're talking drama, we're talking a god getting what's coming to him. This is a Navajo or Dine creation story about a god named Begachidi, and it's basically a cautionary tale about being too obsessed with your own beauty. And honestly, I'm kind of here for the drama. So Begachidi is one of the creators of the world. He's a big deal, and he's like super handsome, and he knows it. He's that guy. He spends all his time just admiring himself, thinking about how great he looks. He creates a bunch of beautiful things in the world, but mostly so they can reflect his own beauty back at him. It's a whole vibe of divine narcissism. He decides he wants to create the most beautiful things ever, something that will truly capture his own magnificence. So he takes out these 2 pieces of buckskin. On one, he paints all the flowers and plants of the world, all the colors of the earth and the sunset. It's stunning. On the other piece, he paints the sky, the clouds, the rainbows, the stars, all the celestial beauty. He lays these 2 painted buckskins on the ground and he's just so pleased with himself. He's like, wow, I've really outdone myself. This is a masterpiece. This is the most beautiful thing in existence besides me, obviously. He's just standing there gloating, completely in love with his own creation and by extension himself. But then disaster strikes. As he's standing there admiring his work, a bolt of lightning, a lightning axe actually, comes down from the sky and just zaps his beautiful paintings. It strikes the buckskins and shreds them into a million tiny, colorful pieces. All his hard work, all that beauty, is just destroyed in a flash. He is, as you can imagine, totally devastated and probably super mad. He looks up to the sky like, who did this? Who would dare ruin my perfect creation? And it turns out it was the other gods. They were tired of his vanity. They were over his whole I'm the best, I'm the prettiest attitude. It was basically a divine intervention to teach him a lesson in humility. They were like, dude, get over yourself. Begachidi is heartbroken. He looks at this pile of tiny, shredded, colorful pieces of buckskin scattered all over the ground. His perfect art is ruined. But then, as he's mourning, a little whirlwind, a dust devil, comes along. It's sent by the wind people. And this little whirlwind starts to pick up all the tiny, colorful scraps. It spins them around and around, lifting them up into the air. And as the whirlwind dances and spins, the little pieces of painted buckskin start to come to life. They grow wings, they grow little bodies, and they start to flutter. They become the very first butterflies. All the colors of the flowers and the rainbows that he had painted were now on their wings. So the butterflies were born from this act of destruction. They are literally the beautiful, shattered pieces of a vain god's ego. The very thing he created to celebrate his own beauty was destroyed and then reborn into these thousands of tiny living creatures that flew away from him, scattering that beauty all over the world for everyone to enjoy, not just him. It's such a great story because it's a total reversal. His creation, meant to be a monument to himself, becomes this democratic art form. The beauty doesn't belong to him anymore, it belongs to the world. And the butterflies in their fluttering are a constant reminder that beauty is meant to be shared and that vanity will, eventually, get zapped by a lightning axe. A lesson we could all probably use, honestly. Alright, now we're going full-on epic myth mode. We're talking ancient Greece, gods, goddesses, monsters, impossible tasks, the whole dramatic shebang. This is the story of Psyche, and her name literally means soul in Greek. And her story is so deeply intertwined with the butterfly that they basically became one and the same. This is the ultimate glow-up story. So Psyche is a mortal princess and she's ridiculously, unfairly beautiful. Like, so beautiful that people start to stop worshipping Aphrodite, the literal goddess of love and beauty, and start worshipping Psyche instead. And Aphrodite is, to put it mildly, not happy about this. You do not steal the spotlight from a goddess, especially not the goddess of beauty. It's a major party foul. Aphrodite is filled with jealous rage and decides to punish Psyche. She sends her son Eros, you might know him as Cupid, to go and make Psyche fall in love with the most hideous monster he can find. A truly petty but very on-brand punishment for a scorned goddess. So Eros flies down, ready to do his mom's dirty work. But when he sees Psyche, he's so stunned by her beauty that he accidentally pricks himself with his own arrow. And whoops, he falls madly in love with her himself. Classic. So now he has a problem. He can't let her marry a monster, but he also can't defy his mom. So he comes up with this super convoluted secret plan. He arranges for Psyche to be taken to this remote, magical palace where he visits her every night, but only in complete darkness. He makes her promise she will never, ever try to look at his face. They fall in love, but it's all based on trust and this unseen connection. Psyche is living in luxury, but she's also lonely. Her jealous sisters convince her that her secret husband must be a hideous monster, just like the prophecy said. So one night, her curiosity gets the better of her. She breaks her promise. While he's sleeping, she lights a lamp to finally see his face, and she's stunned to see that her husband is not a monster, but the beautiful god Eros. But as she's leaning over him, a drop of hot oil from the lamp falls on his shoulder. He wakes up, betrayed and hurt, and immediately flies away, abandoning her. Psyche is devastated and totally alone. She realizes she messed up big time and decides to do whatever it takes to win him back. This leads her to go directly to Aphrodite and basically beg for forgiveness. Aphrodite, still furious, decides to give Psyche a series of impossible tasks, thinking she'll fail and suffer forever. She has to sort a giant pile of mixed grains, gather golden fleece from violent sheep, and even journey to the underworld. But with a little help from nature and some sympathetic gods, Psyche manages to complete every single task. Her journey is this huge trial of her spirit. She endures suffering, she shows courage, she proves her love is real. She goes through this whole metaphorical death and rebirth. It's a total transformation from a naive girl into a strong, resilient woman. After completing the final task, which involves bringing back a box of beauty from Persephone in the underworld, she is finally redeemed. Eros, who has forgiven her, pleads her case to Zeus. Zeus is impressed by her whole ordeal and agrees to make her a goddess. She drinks ambrosia, becomes immortal, and is given a pair of butterfly wings, symbolizing her transformed soul. She and Eros get to be together forever. It's a happy ending. Her story is a perfect allegory for the journey of the human soul. Like a caterpillar, she starts as a simple mortal, Psyche. She enters a period of darkness and struggle, like being in a chrysalis, her trials. And then she emerges, transformed and beautiful, as a goddess with butterfly wings. The butterfly became the ultimate Greek symbol for the soul, and its potential for growth, endurance, and immortal transfiguration. It's not just a bug, it's the story of us. Okay, deep breaths, everyone. We have been through a lot. We've had romance, hope, sacrifice, ghosts, and gods. But we have saved the most intense for last. We are going to the Aztec Empire, and we are talking about a goddess named Itzpapalotl. And her name translates to obsidian butterfly or clawed butterfly. And yes, she is just as terrifying and awesome as that sounds. Forget everything you think you know about butterflies being delicate and gentle. Itzpapalotl is the exact opposite. She's a warrior goddess, a fierce, powerful, and frankly scary deity. She's often depicted as this skeletal being with jaguar claws, and get this, wings that are tipped with obsidian blades. These aren't fluttery, pretty wings, these are weapons. She is not here to play. She was one of the most important and feared deities in the Aztec pantheon. She was a goddess of sacrifice, death, and war. But here's where it gets complicated and super interesting. She was also the patron goddess of midwives and women who died in childbirth. She ruled over a paradise world called Tamawanchan, which was the origin place of the human race. So she's both a creator and a destroyer. This duality is what makes her so fascinating. The butterfly, for the Aztecs, wasn't just a symbol of beauty. It was a symbol of transformation, yes, but also of the soul, fire, and the spirits of dead warriors. When a warrior died in battle, his soul was believed to return to the earth as a butterfly or a hummingbird, free to drink the nectar of the flowers for eternity. So the butterfly had this deep connection to fire, blood, and glorious death. Its papillon embodies this complex symbolism perfectly. Her obsidian wings represent both the beauty of a butterfly and the deadliness of a volcanic glass blade. Obsidian was a sacred material, used for sacrificial knives. So her very form is a paradox, the fragile, beautiful butterfly merged with the deadliest of weapons. She represents the idea that creation and destruction are two sides of the same coin. There are myths where she tries to destroy the world, and others where she helps create humanity. She is not good or evil, she is a force of nature, like a volcano or an earthquake. She represents the violent, chaotic, and transformative power that is necessary for life to exist. You can't have birth without some form of death or destruction. It's a really intense and profound worldview. Imagine worshipping a goddess like that. It requires a level of respect that is born from pure awe and a healthy dose of fear. She wasn't a comforting deity you prayed to for small favors. She was a fundamental power of the universe that you had to appease and honor. She was the embodiment of the idea that transformation is often a violent, painful process. So while a monarch butterfly might make us think of peaceful migrations, for the Aztecs, a butterfly could also be a symbol of a warrior's soul, or a reminder of this terrifying blade-winged goddess of death. It completely flips the script on what a butterfly can represent. It shows that this one little insect can contain so many different, even contradictory meanings across cultures. It's a powerful reminder that symbols are not universal. The gentle butterfly of one culture is the terrifying warrior goddess of another. And its papillon, the obsidian butterfly, is probably the most hardcore metal version of a butterfly you will ever encounter. She is beauty, death, creation, and destruction, all fluttering on wings made of knives. And that is, without a doubt, completely mind-blowing. So what do we think? I feel like my brain has been completely rewired. I don't think I can ever just casually see a butterfly again without thinking of blade wings or secret wishes or tragic lovers jumping into a grave. It's wild how one little creature can carry the weight of so many epic human stories. From the soul of a child in Ireland to a terrifying goddess in the Aztec Empire, the butterfly is so much more than just a pretty face. It's a mirror, reflecting our biggest hopes, fears, and beliefs about life, death, and what comes next. It's a reminder that there are layers of meaning and history hidden all around us, in the most unexpected places. The world is so much more magical and strange than we give it credit for. These legends have been passed down for centuries, shaping how entire cultures viewed something as simple as an insect. And by learning about them, we get this little window into their world and maybe understand our own a little bit better too. It makes me want to go down a rabbit hole for every animal now, seeking legends. So which of these legends blew your mind the most? Are there any other myths about everyday symbols you think we should cover next? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed uncovering these hidden stories, make sure to subscribe to Papillon Chateau on YouTube and follow on Facebook so you don't miss our next deep dive into the amazing world of butterflies. Thank you for being a part of our butterfly-loving community at Papillon Chateau, where every wing tells a story,